Hi, and welcome to yet another episode of Connect with Carla B. As you know, it's important for me to bring you various connections that I've made over the years, period. I don't even have to stay in St. Petersburg, just period, connections that I've made over the years. And today I'm sitting with a woman that, quite frankly, I would like to to know more about. But I want to know more about. So you're going to get to learn more about her right alongside me, although we've been connected for some time. So without any delay, I'm going to ask Miss Jake Ann Jones, like the Jake Ann Jones, to introduce herself to you with the Carnegie Hall stage introduction.
You have me at a disadvantage because I do not like my voice. So that's right out the box. But yeah, hi, my name is Jake Ann Jones. Jake is what I go by. I like one syllable names. It's easier.
No, girl, come on. So, all right, I might need to get her the push. So we know for a fact Jake Ann is a mother. We know she's a writer. We know, and we'll talk about it. She is a founder of more than one thing within our community. In particular, I know I want to find out more about her Afrofuturism event. But I think I would like to start off talking about, Jake Ann, how did you get to Florida? And Florida by way of?
Yeah, I'm originally from Harlem, New York. I moved to Florida because I had hit my wall in New York, quite frankly. You get to a certain point. I had my babies kind of back to back. And I and their dad, we were agreeing to co-partner and it was not healthy anymore to be in New York for our family. So we came down here. And so that's how I ended up here. And I came and I didn't know anybody. And it has just been an incredible kind of move, because a lot of really wonderful things have happened while I've been here. And I do believe that God plants, you have to bloom where you're planted. And I am definitely a God person, so I move with the Spirit. And so even though everybody in New York stopped talking to me when I moved down here.
But how did you pick St. Petersburg, Florida, and what year did you move here?
I moved here in 2005. My kids' dad's mother was here. Okay. So that's how we moved. And I used to travel. I used to be in the theater and I worked in the arts for a long time. And anytime I left New York and traveled anywhere, I would be like, oh, why is it so much nicer everywhere but New York? It's so ugly in New York, And so we came down here after the first child was born to visit her. And I was like, oh, it's really nice here. And, my mom had passed away. So I really I thought I would be benefited by having their grandmother, their only grandmother in their life. So that's how we came here.
Yeah. And she's still here?
Yep.
She's still with
here.
us?
Yeah, she's still with us.
Yeah, that's a beautiful benefit.
And my kid's dad, we've co-parented very well. He's very present in their life. And I've been blessed to make a community here. So, it took a while, but I feel good about where I am. I wish I felt better about political issues and legislative issues, but I don't know if we're going to talk about all that. So.
Oh, I don't mind. I don't tap dance or tiptoe around those things. These are important things because people always talk about where do I start with advocacy? And one of the easiest, simplest places to start is with your vote. And don't vote for people, vote for issues. And look at who's advocating for the things that are most important to you, your family, and your community, and vote in that direction. And on the bigger scale, if you don't know who to vote for that's advocating for those things, ask me, I'll tell you. Because I stay in the know. So when you said the theater, like what, because in my mind, you are a force. What were you doing in the theater?
I started performing very young, like 12. I was in a professional children's company in New York. My dad was a jazz musician. My mom, we were all put in arts, piano, violin, whatever, all my siblings. And I did professional theater from the time I was 12 to 16. And then I kind of like just spent a long time in, and then I went into the theater program at City College. And I got my undergrad degree in acting. I spent time in my 20s performing. I used to be part of a performance art group called Keeping Up with the Joneses. Did a lot of cabaret in New York, produced a lot of stuff, which is how I got into producing live art. I worked in New York until I think my mom, at a certain point I decided to, Brown University called. They were looking to, they were like, why don't you come into our creative writing program? Because I had a tiny career and I had, done some theater plays. I was writing. So I did the undergrad degree at Brown, the graduate degree at Brown. And then I came back and I taught at City College for a long time and continued to do the art stuff. And then when my mom passed away, a lot of things changed for me, and I was burnt out, and I literally prayed. I was like, God, I need a family, and I had one within 2 years, and then I was moving here, so
wow. Yeah. Are you an only child?
No, I have siblings, but one is in California. She was a doctor. She lived there. My sister and my brother are still in New York. My brother is also a musician. He's a musician, and he's worked in law enforcement in the longest time. He's like, And then my other sister is, she works in the legal profession. So I was really the one who stayed in the arts.
Okay.
I never kind of left the arts. And, but then when I came here to Florida, it was like I didn't know anybody. Okay. And they didn't care about my graduate degree. I couldn't teach in the university here. I had taught in the university up north, so I started working. I got a CNA certificate.
Oh wow!
Cleaning people's behinds at night, overnight. Yeah, I had a crazy transition here, and then I finally got a writing job working for a situation that I'm not even gonna talk about right now. But it was a ministry.
Okay.
And I wrote for the ministry for like 5 years, and then I started working at the Challenger, and that was where I really started. My kids were old enough then because they were really little when we moved here, and I was really just parenting. And I was still doing stuff outside, in New York and around. I still write screenplays, and I write plays, and I was writing a book. The book finally came out in 2021. So
Can we add to her title, author?
Yeah, sometimes Farm Girls.
See, she is modest.
Revolutionaries, that's the book.
It's called Revolutionaries.
Sometimes farm girls become revolutionaries.
Did you write a book about me? What happened?
Girl, right. She's a woman of our, it's funny when you were saying the older women, and you were talking a little earlier about being fed by older, wise women. She was, Florence Tate was that for me for a long time. I've always looked as well for women who are older, who seem like they carry a wisdom and a peace and a grace, because I suffer from lack of grace.
But plus, if a lot of times we think we're void of something, and the thing that we believe we're void of actually exists, is being placed in front of us, it's our inability to acknowledge that we're being provided it. So whether it's my mom is gone, I miss that. And unless you're able to see so you can acknowledge and be thankful, then you're not able to have those closer relationships with these women that are literally here because you're seeking that.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I love that you have an awareness that that's something that's happening in your life, which is beautiful.
It's been that way for a long time. I mean, even back in New York, I kind of gravitated to what, maybe it's because I had older sisters, you know, so it was easy for me to value women, first of all, and then older women. There were a lot of very sorcerousy kind of women in my life. My undergrad, my first Black female instructor was Robbie McCauley, and she was an incredible force in my life. So very young, I had also other people besides my mother who were Black women who were older, who were, you know, kind of just showing me the way to navigate through, you know, the craziness of this world.
In my mind, I just had like a flashback that I believe you have. Do you have a connection to Stevie Wonder at all, or is that just in my mind?
First wife. That's my first husband. Stevie Wonder is my first husband, and you can ask anybody that who
husband. Like, what you mean? That's just.
I'm thinking of my girl Benja right now, who's on Broadway in Fat Ham. And we used to, on Facebook all the time, like we would say, he's my husband. No, he's my husband. Stevie is my man. Yeah. No, we were not really married.
You have met him.
I haven't. No.
Oh, Lord. She's giving me teenager vibes right now.
He's just oh my God, his music.
Yeah.
Wait, come on. Oh. And he's a Taurus the bull. So, yes. Well, yeah. He's definitely a strong influence because, you know, if you think about the kind of music that he was doing and what he was writing about and what he was talking, the synthesizer, like the way he created this sort of like, the music was kind of spiritual, but also futuristic. Afrofuturism. There you have it.
Look at this. She can't help herself. She's trying to do my job now.
No, but these are the connections. Your show is called
Connecting with Carla B.
Right.
And so segueing to, well, we'll do Afrofuturism, and then we'll do the Black Arts. Pinellas
Diaspora Arts Project.
Arts Project.
Well, the Tampa Bay Afrofuturism is a project of the Pinellas Diaspora Arts Project.
So talk about Pinellas Diaspora Arts Project.
Yeah. So you know, so I did all this. So art has always been in my life, my family's life. But when I moved here, I didn't do art locally because I was doing art outside, and I remember when I started writing for the Challenger, one of my first assignments was doing the Black Arts Festival.
What?
Yeah, that was like one of my first.
Is that how we connected?
That was how I met you.
Really? See? Yeah, no, I don't remember nothing.
Yes, and that was exciting. And then after that, I remember I interviewed Nick Davis, the artist, and he talked a lot about, you know, just his own struggles and his evolution and what he felt was missing, you know, in terms of what youth had as culturally here. And then I think I still wasn't, you know, I was still writing the book and working on stuff outside of New York, and I didn't really feel like I needed to do it here. But then LaDonna at one of the Healing While Black events, I think it was in 2021, had a Black artist conversation that I was part of, and some of the things that came out during that let me kind of feel and see, like, you know what, maybe we can have this conversation now, especially since it's coming up around mental health, especially because our issues here in this country continue to be really stressful. And I definitely believe like art saves lives. Yeah. So for me, I think I saw it as a health intervention. Starting the Pinellas Diaspora Arts Project. I know that, you know, Urban Drinkery had just like sort of started doing stuff. Green Book of Tampa Bay. Yes. So there were lots of, and then you had actually you were like a major,
Mm-hmm.
you kind of started a lot of this. Jabbar Edmond and Dream and Cranston and Dreammakers, and so I had connections with people, and I was like, well, we're not going to do this alone. Like I went to Bob Devin Jones at Studio 620 and Jay Hinson up at Arts for Life, and those were like the two grand dames and divas of the area. And I was like, let me ask them what they think, and they were down with it. And I was like, would you be on the board? And they were like, what do we have to do? And I was like, not much.
Right.
And Debbie Yati Garrett, who's an artist in the area, and Jabbar's on the board. So we kind of just got it together and just started doing events. But the Afrofuturism thing was something I wanted to do because I had gone to the Zora Neale Hurston Festival in Eatonville in 2020, right before COVID.
Wow.
And the actual topic was Zora, mother of Afrofuturism.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, look at this, guy.
Right.
Afrofuturism is in Florida.
Put it together.
And I was like, okay, if it's in Eatonville, Florida, we can bring it to St. Pete.
Look, y'all, look. Now, when I went to Eatonville and I got off the interstate, and after I passed by the dealerships, and then I landed on Eatonville, and so then I figure, okay, so I've been to Zora Neale Hurston, so where is Eatonville? And I mean, I don't even want to say if you could see it, you're there, but it's like a block, it's a square block. But it told you just how close communities were, how small the properties were, but within that community, there was everything. It's the oldest Black community in Florida, right? Eatonville?
Is it?
Was it?
I'm not sure, but I know they've been doing that festival for like 30 or 40, 30. It's a long time.
Yeah, I haven't been in years. I went, way before I ever opened the art gallery. I went to the festival, and festivals that I would choose to go to had to have certain requirements. It would have to have a certain amount of artists present with their work. Because I want to meet the artist. I want to hear the story about the artist. It's very similar to what I did with the gallery. I wanted you to meet an artist if you were going to buy their work, so you could have a story to tell someone else about this artist, this artwork, that's deeper than if you were to buy a print out of, I don't know, online, let's say. And so I remember I bought Miriam Howard's work, and I'd been familiar with her, but not so, but she wasn't there. And then when I actually brought her to the gallery, she said that particular person who sold me the work had stolen much of her work. And if you look her up online, the most you'll find about her is tied to the gallery. And I mean, she is an incredible artist. So it's when I decided, I want to make sure that I'm actually meeting the artist, understanding their story, and supporting the artist directly. So now now tell me more about Afrofuturism, and what should we look forward to this year or next year? Like, what we got coming?
We're getting ready to do our second one. It'll be November 10th through 12th this year, the 10th, 11th, and the 12th.
Okay.
This year we are expanding to Tampa because it's the Tampa Bay Afrofuturism Festival.
Right, what a concept.
We actually stayed over here in Pinellas. So this year we are going to do, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed because if there's been no checks I've written, I'm raising money, but the plan is the Blunt Space is a group of young folks who are going to do an Afrofuturism ball for us in Tampa. This hip hop cat, Charlie Funk, is hopefully going to put together a hip hop show, so that those two things will be in Tampa. So we'll have our Tampa side. Over here, I'm really excited about our Community Tech Day that we're planning to do in Charles Park, knock on wood. Jabbar Edmond, Healing Fire, and Greg Buckshawn are doing, they have a thing called the Tech Giants. And so we're working on a full day of digital tech.
Oh, nice.
AI and 3D stuff and Chat GPT. They're all kind of like, they've put together a proposal. There'll be pods, and and then there'll be people will come in and actually touch the equipment, and they'll lead them through creating digital stuff. It's all kind of over my over my head. But yes, and that is to kind of like address some of the digital divide issues.
Right.
Like for me, Afrofuturism is it's basically been an academic discussion since the phrase was coined in 1990, whatever, 5, 4, 3, 2. It was coined very early, but it was always a academic discussion. And so Black folks all over the United States who bled to get their PhDs in whatever topic was related to Afrofuturism, it was kind of like in the academy. And so when I saw Zora Neale Hurston, they had 2 days of incredible panels. It was, again, very academic. The people who were out in the field at the festival may or may not have ever gone into the academic parts of it in the conversations. And I was like, I don't think I want to do that. I don't think we can do that really as Black folks. I think we have to find a way to really create connections and not kind of like make things the academy versus the people.
Right.
That's just my feeling. So we are doing most of our stuff. So we're doing our panels and we're doing some workshops and then the tech stuff. And then we have children's workshops again. All of that will happen, we hope, at Charles Park Rec. So that, it will have a real community can come in and just experience all this stuff. We will do some panels and, I think we're trying to put together a senior. Oops, no, I didn't say that. I think we're trying to put together a art show for movers and shakers, which will be people over 50. I think that's what we're trying to do.
Oh, because she was about to call me a senior, and I embrace it. I embrace.
But politically, we can't say that word anymore. Do you know that?
Oh, really? That word's off the table.
Yeah, no. You can't say seniors. You can't say mature. It's now age, so it's over 50.
It's what?
It's called? 50 and over.
It's called what?
That's the art show is going to be for 50 and over.
So what are they called now? What are we calling them? Because I'm always looking for that 55 plus community, which I'm entering end of this year, by the way.
I'm trying to tell people I'm on that other end of Gen X. I'm in the beginning of Gen X. That's what all I will cop to at this point. But so the festival is happening, and we're excited about everything, So I'll keep you posted.
What I want you to tell us is, how did Mama J. Henson end up moving you from her being on your board to you now? Let's talk about
Mama
Arts
J
for Life
because it's part time. But for me, I'll tell you, when I met Jay Henson, I was like, okay, this is what an artist who is in the community. This is what they do. This is who they are. Because Mama J is up there, and she is been up there for 30 years. She is in the community, and when I tell you, she is dealing with 70 kids a day, like 5 days a week, and then all day during the summer. It is just generations and generations. I mean, there are people who come through those doors who were there, and now they have like grandkids. Yep. It's just so deep, and I am awed by her grace, and her ability to. God, these. I'm not child friendly.
Let me tell you. So let me help you.
Help me.
So I call all children angels. Ooh. And I've definitely had those experiences where I'm calling children angels, and the parent themselves look at me and go, oh, he is no angel. And then I remind them that Lucifer was an angel. So the point is if we just keep the connotation positive, right? It helps the entire, you don't know which one I'm meaning. The point is there's a vibration when we say angels. So I just refer to all kids as angels. So when you start looking at them, thinking of them that way,
I appreciate
you'll journey
that.
through it. You'll journey through it differently.
So anyway, I am working with her and sitting under her. I mean, again, she's one of those women who's a little bit, she's not that much older than me, but she's got that wisdom, she's got that experience, she's got patience, and she's got grace. And I just believe more and more that we need that. We need that in these times.
Can I just say, I'm secretly hoping that part of your time there is about succession planning, and that in some ways, because I know that that is something that she has been, hoping for. Like that there will be someone. Are you that someone?
I don't think so, but I definitely am there to help stand in the gap as she is pulling that team together. I think she's got her sights on some folks.
Good.
And I think right now, as the transitions have to happen to bring those people into, really getting ready, I definitely feel like I'm there to support that process before that they get in place. But yeah, I mean, I'm happy to be there working, with her and any, just supporting
And if
her.
some of you, you guys know I'm South St. Pete centric, but I love me some Mama J. And here's how you'll know who she is. If you have ever heard of Family Blessing or the Black Chocolate Nutcracker, this is her brainchild. And I mean, that is some production that happens every year towards the end of the year that we can bring our children to, and they can see, a black ballerina and a storyline that we can connect with, and all these different genres of music and dance, and it just all comes together. And she's had such success with her dances going on to national platforms. So we'll be connecting with her. Yeah. We'll be connecting with her at some point for sure. But J-Can, so writing. So of all the aspects of the arts that you do, like which one is like, no matter what, I'm not letting go of this one? Which one is that?
Oh, wow. I mean, I love writing. I've been writing a long time. I don't know. I guess most people know me as a writer, so I actually like the producing part. I like working with, I love putting together the art stuff. I think because I have a right brain, left brain, I'm more right brain, but I can do the math that's involved with producing. And a lot of artists don't like that, but I mean, you really have to be able to do the connections and bring the money to the table, figure out the different partners, and then just really kind of be a support to hold them. And I'm really kind of like into this whole thing of looking at the younger folks who are brilliant and wondering, how do we support them? How do we let them in so that they're not feeling like we're not letting them in? Like, we need to let them in. We need to embrace them. We need to make places for them. We need to get the money in for them. So a lot of what I'm doing right now is looking to help with the general succession of the culture, because the culture needs a succession plan.
You're not
yeah.
lying.
So
what how do you ensure that you don't overextend yourself and create balance for yourself as you do this work?
I've been working on that.
I'm asking that because I'm planning to do it. Whatever you say, let's hear it. Yeah. We all need help with it. That's why I thought I would ask you.
This year on my birthday, I do the 52 days before my birthday cocoon. So I cocoon for 52 days.
That's
that
nice.
means I just stopped doing a lot of stuff and just kind of try to. And this year, 9 words or 8 words came to me, which were rest, relaxation, rejuvenation, restoration, acceptance, gratefulness, hydration. And I think somebody added in a 9th one. But I'm really trying to do that because I haven't been good at it, and I haven't been. So I am trying to just really focus more on the long term, the long game. It's a long game. So we have to really take care of ourselves. And people are passing away in their 50s and
yes.
And I just like what? In their 40s. I'm just like, this world is very dangerous right now if you're not taking care of yourself. So I really prioritize. People think they see me out on the street a lot, but I have to tell people I'm inside a lot, and when I'm inside, I am doing nothing. I am alone, and I'm chilling with my sons. So I spent a lot of time in solo, quiet time.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for taking time with me. I hope those listening was able to take some bite away, and I hope that you find a way to connect with Jake Ann Jones through any number of her efforts in our community. For sure, we just heard Afrofuturism, November 10th, 11th, and 12th. See how the woman with no memory remembers some things. So until next time, be good to yourself.